Gruesome Magazine.
Hello once again, I'm your host, Doc Rodden, and this is Gruesome Magazine, where we review the very latest in streaming and video on-demand horror movies. Each week, my co-host Jeff Mohr, Crystal Cleveland, Christopher G. Mohr, and myself will take a look at various spooky, scary, and gory genre offerings. Tonight, we're reviewing Bed Rest, streaming on Tubi. All right, let me introduce the crew, starting off with the one and only Jeff Mohr. How you doing, Jeff?
I'm good. I do bed rest every day till about 10 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, yes. Bed rest. All right. Also joining this week is Crystal Cleveland, Living Dead Girl. How you doing?
I'm great. Well, you know, I guess I could give. I actually was on bed rest while I was pregnant for 5 weeks in the hospital.
In the hospital?
Yeah.
Well,
in the
worse.
hospital.
Yuck.
Mm-hmm. That was worse. Yeah.
Yuck.
So now that I've been Debbie Downer,
we're having so much fun. All right, also joining us is award-winning filmmaker Christopher G. Mohr. How you doing, sir?
Tubi doo. Where are you? I'm doing well.
Boo.
Boo. I did that for you, Doc. I learned it from you, Doc.
You did. Oh, that hurt so much.
Boy.
All right. We are here to review Bed Rest. What we're going to do is start off giving you our first impressions. Those first impressions will be spoiler free. Then we're going to dive into a discussion. We will get into spoilers because there's some fun ones in this one. And then we'll wrap things up with our score. Well, some of us think they're fun. Wrap up our score of 1 to 5 and our favorite scene. All right. Yeah, do it quick. All right. And then, of course, we hope you enjoy not only this review, but many others that we have on the site. And if you do, please hit the like, subscribe, share with a friend, and help us reach our goal of 5,000 subscribers. We're getting there. Slowly but surely, but we're getting there. So thank you all, and only you can help us do it. All right, let's take a look at the card. Bed Rest.
it's small. Wow.
Huh?
There's not much there.
There's not much there.
Yeah, it's like,
my life. Available streaming on Tubi beginning December 7th of 2022. Synopsis is: a pregnant woman on bed rest begins to wonder if her house is haunted or if it's all in her head. Written and directed by Laurie Evans Taylor. The cast includes Melissa Barrera, Guy Burnet, Edie Inksetter, Kristen Harris, Erik Athavale. That's what I'm going to say. Kristen Sawatzky and Paul Essiembre. Good Lord, have mercy. Essiembre.
yeah.
The tongue is tied, ladies and gentlemen.
I like how you were so proud when you said Inksetter.
A glitch. It was a glitch in the program.
Inksetter, yeah.
Okay. Take the little victories. All right, let's get into this. Christopher G. Mohr, what was your first impression of Bed Rest?
Well, first of all, I love the actress who's from Scream, the recent Scream film.
Mm-hmm.
And I think she was also wasn't she in that Lin-Manuel Miranda? Wasn't she also in that musical? But anyway,
The Nights.
Yeah. Yeah, so she's a really good actress, and I think she does a really great job in this. I think the only problem is this is a very slow prodding film, and I feel like there's no chemistry between her and the guy. I really hate the guy in this film.
No.
I don't know if it's just the character or just how he comes across, but he just seems like he's just irritating. But I think it has a good premise, any kind of premise that you can sort of require somebody to be in a certain space, and then there's crazy stuff going on at the same time. She always has a history of, mental illness or whatever, so that people aren't believing what's happening, if there's something supernatural happening or not. So yeah, it has all those elements. It has a few good sort of interesting scare moments. But yeah, it's a very, even though this film's a little bit over an hour and a half, it feels longer than that because it takes such a long time to get to sort of like the prize at the end of the cereal box. And I will say the endings kind of surprised me. It has a little bit of a sweetness to it. But overall, yeah, I don't know. I think it had some interesting moments, but overall, it was kind of. I looked at my watch a lot during it because I feel like it's kind of monotonous in certain parts, you know. So yeah, I think it's got some good moments, and I think the main actress is good in it, but overall, it's yeah, I feel like I could have fallen asleep at parts and it wouldn't have mattered.
You had your own bed rest.
Yeah, I could have had bed. Maybe, yeah. So I don't know. I think it had some interesting things, but I think the ending kind of saves a little bit, but you have to get through so much to get to that ending. So
fair enough. Fair enough. Crystal, you're up next. What was your first impression of Bed Rest?
So, I think the film was well made. I liked the cinematography. I think the sound was good. I think the acting was great. I didn't have a problem with any of the actors. It's a simple format. It's basically one location for the most part. I mean, more than anything else. I mean, obviously, hence the name, bed rest and in her home. I mean, I'm glad that they we've seen a lot of these stories where the woman is like seen as being hysterical and no one believes her, and that is the case with this. But at toward the end, it comes out and everyone, whatever happens. I'm not going to spoil anything, but I do appreciate that it went in a little bit of a different direction. I mean, obviously, I was on bed rest, like I said, for 5 weeks, but I was much earlier than her. I mean, to be honest, they don't necessarily recommend bed rest anymore. I mean, in my case, it was necessary. My water had broken. I was in the hospital, though. But for her, I guess, as well, like the membrane ruptured, or I don't know what happened to her. Placental, I think it detached.
It tore, right?
But,
But it would,
yeah. But she was lucky she could take baths and stuff. I couldn't do that. I can only take showers. But I feel like there's some things I liked about the movie, and there's some things that I just felt I felt kind of disconnected from. I feel like the husband was portrayed actually pretty well. Usually they make him out to be a jerk, and they didn't here. And I appreciate that as well, because I get tired of that. But, I mean, let's be real. No one should believe her. I mean, we have literally no proof of spirits, ghosts, or demons, but we have 100% proof of mental instability. So in these movies, I know people get upset at the screen. Oh, why don't they? Of course they don't believe her, because the odds are, well, actually, there'd be no doubt in my mind that she was having an episode. So I'm sorry. There's no reason to believe her. And I know that they write it that like women should be. I do believe, like, yes, okay, if we're dealing with pain or talking about things like that, yes, women should be believed. But this is a different case. So I don't know if they were trying to equate that to this whole, women's pain being downplayed. We do have a problem in the United States specifically about how, the mortality rate is really low for a developed country. So that's kind of sad. But I was very lucky. My son was only born at 29 weeks, which is far earlier than hers, and he's fine. So we do have some good hospitals here. I still found the movie kind of boring, though, overall. It wasn't scary, but I don't know that it was meant to be. And then I don't understand. I don't know if it was supposed to be empowering for women, because then they have another character who literally murdered all of her children. I'm kind of confused about what it's supposed to do for women in a way. So yeah, it was good. It was good. It was well crafted, and it wasn't. I didn't check my watch like Christopher did. I was more entertained than that. And
Okay.
that's where I
Sounds-
stand. Okay.
sounds good.
Yeah. I
Sounds
said a
good.
lot, actually. Wow.
You did? You had lots of time. Jeff, what was your first impression of Bed Rest?
Well, in the end, I liked it, and but well, so here it is. I'm fine. I'm good with the actors. I mean, we have 3 main actors, but and the husband, I understand exactly. I think it's exactly, to me, it's like it's the cross between what Crystal and Chris were saying. Yeah, you get really mad at him because he's not believing her, but he shouldn't.
Yeah.
And so I'm watching this movie, and right off the bat, pretty quickly, you figure out this is going to be one of those: is she crazy or is there supernatural? So I'm not giving anything away here, but and that's what made it feel long to me, I guess, because I felt like we're just going to the same place that the last half a dozen movies like this I saw, but it doesn't. It has a different type of ending, and so I guess I would recommend to people, it's not just the same old thing. It goes a different place at the end, and there's a little more to it. I enjoyed the acting. There's a few jump scares in terms of until you get used to them, then you start watching for that. But anyway, with that, yeah, I enjoyed it. Is it a great movie? No, but it's I wasn't looking at my watch either. But I hate. I mean, we watch a lot of stuff on Tubi. They got a lot of stuff on there that's good to watch. But when commercials pop up, I look at my watch.
Yeah.
It's like I got to do, so I think it's just sort of a side effect of it wasn't so much in the story. It was like, oh, there's another commercial.
Yeah,
I'm done.
Yeah, the commercials are unfortunate for Tubi, but other than that, it's interesting that they have new movies that haven't been seen anywhere else for free.
Yes.
I will compliment on that. I enjoyed this movie quite a bit. I mean, it's not a great movie, but it is incredibly entertaining, I thought. I think mostly because of the lead actress, I think, like you're saying. But I enjoyed the story. They, for those wondering, they make a really strong case for her not to be believed, even in a supernatural film, because of her backstory and the similarities between what happened in her backstory and what's happening now are pretty strong to, just support the husband's, even in the context of a supernatural film where it's not like the real world where that is never going to happen. In a supernatural world, it can happen, right? So, yeah, but to me, I mean, a lot of the tropes are there. The jump scares are stereotypical. It's everything, but. So for most of it, it's the strength of the actors. If you get behind the actors, you're going to like this movie more than not. But then in the end, it really won me over. I really liked the ending of this movie in a lot of ways. But I will say, for someone on bed rest, Crystal, she wasn't in the bed all that often.
Well, bed rest is it's not like you're not allowed to get out of the bed. You can get out of the bed. That's a misconception. Like, obviously, you can get up and you can go to the restroom. You can sit in a chair. It's still the same as sitting in the bed. I mean.
But, I mean, she's in every room. She even gets to go downstairs.
Well, and that's the way the doctor described it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, well, the doctor.
In bed. Do not get out of bed except,
Except
a 10-minute bath once every 3 days, I think.
I thought the doctor was good.
What? So I took a bath every day. That's a weird thing. But I mean, like I said, I was in the hospital, so mine was different.
I have more logic problems why you would have a pregnant woman in a house where the one of the bathrooms, the floor could collapse.
Tell me about it.
That just seems.
Well, that bathroom was, closed off. But
okay.
Yeah.
But let me be honest with you. They lost a child. They had a stillborn baby. And then they decided to, while she was pregnant, move buy a new house that they needed to renovate severely. Like, I get it. If she liked the house, I get it. There's no reason that she should have stressed herself out in any way, shape, or form. Even if they like the house, fine, buy the house. You need to be living somewhere else while the house is being renovated. It's dangerous. It's silly. They made a lot of.
Well, they also made it that was her passion, right? Was to, because she was guiding it. She was the one that was doing it. But yes, it was too much to put onto her. You're right.
To what I'm. She lost a child. She's pregnant again. Why would you risk it?
And spent 6 months in a institutionalized.
Yeah.
And there's just so much to it. I'm like, okay, so I just feel like I don't like when characters make poor choices. Are you a responsible person or are you not? Make a choice.
My biggest issue is you have the money to renovate this house, but you don't have the money to get a big screen TV. How dare you? How dare you?
Yes.
Oh, let me just get this old TV from my workplace. And that was my biggest issue. I was like, I'm going to turn this off now.
Let me tell you this too, though. Okay. Look,
I will say, I will say that the story is very predictable. You sort of, you know where it's going. Right. I mean, the ending kind of goes in a different, but even that I kind of figured out in the midst of it, but it's very predictable. You know that she's going to find out some kind of information at some point, and you automatically know that and at the same time, I know you guys said that the guy was good, but I thought he was bland. I saw no chemistry between her and him at all. That opening scene, I was like, oh God, if the rest of this movie's like this is like a bad Hallmark movie. But when it focuses more on her, it's more interesting. She had more chemistry with her nanny than she had with him.
Yeah.
Oh, I did like the relationship.
And even the doctor, I think, was
caretaker.
The doctor had more heart and pizzazz than her husband did. I hated the husband, and I understand that he's had issues, but I thought he was the most blandest. He's like the blandest cracker.
You're talking like milk toast. Is that what
milk
you're
toast. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So let me tell you, I don't like. I guess like it was like her first week and she was like, I'm sorry. I did it. And not only that, they pumped me full of steroids. Do you have any idea what it feels like to be on steroids for fucking weeks in a bed in the hospital where you don't have any of that stuff around you? I didn't once worry about myself and how bored I was. All I cared about was that my child was okay. So I feel like that was a little weird as well. I feel like that wasn't, she's just like, I'm like, what is she, 12? I don't know. I mean, had I lost a child even before what happened to me happened, no. I just feel like it's not logical.
I do wish they had pushed the paranoia up a little bit more. Because she's paranoid that that the others are trying to take the baby from her, and I wish they had ramped that up and really made that much more of.
Really, because I hate.
It just wasn't strong enough, right?
Paranoid.
No,
I hate. Really, I guess the whole thing. I'm like, it's difficult to write a story like this, and make anyone look good. So that's why I'm trying not to like make it out to be so bad, because I'm like, when the woman gets that paranoid, it's just, I'm like, settle down. You have to know externally that even though you're seeing this, that you could be having an episode. Like, you need to be able to think outside of yourself. And so I guess it drives me. It just makes me
I kind of worry that they were going to lean into that too much. But I mean, for me, it got more interesting when the actual supernatural stuff happened with the other people. Part of it. I
wish they had done more.
That's when it got good.
Interesting.
Because there was some decisions like, whoa, there's a part with the nanny. I was like, whoa, okay.
I mean, that was like
I was kind of shocked. I was like, wow, that was this supernatural ghost is not playing. So that's when it got very interesting for me.
When the house started shaking,
and also I give them props.
Trickled that through.
They could have brought that in a little sooner.
And like maybe the nanny's like, well, it did kind of seem like, but I'm not sure, you know, more like questionable as opposed to outright for the other people.
I
They're
think
like, maybe it is.
I think to me, it's like I think I'm kind of over people like, are they crazy? Are they not?
Yeah,
I'm kind
me
of more
too.
interested in other people dealing with things. Also, I give them props for doing something I've never seen in a film before, where they use the Roomba to examine
Yes.
another
Oh,
room.
that
Yes,
was
like,
yes.
cool. That
Okay,
was
anytime
cool.
they can do
Yeah.
something, I've never them utilizing tech
Mhm.
to do something else. Okay, I give them props for that because that was a very
Yeah.
unique thing that I've never seen in a film before.
And it was also a good way for her to lose her phone too. So
Well, that too. I was like, although I guess she could use her like iPad to maybe call. So
Yeah.
she still has that
Yeah.
ability
Yeah.
as
I
long as
did
the
li-
internet doesn't go out.
I did like, you were talking about the bathroom with that, where the floor was unstable. I do like that they used that toward the end.
Well, that's
That I enjoyed that.
Chekhov's
Chekhov's
Bathtub.
bathtub.
tub and a really rickety floor.
But it also had a much. So the outcome was a
The
bit more
double
surprising
meaning there
for this,
too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because of what that tub was used for decades ago. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Although
Which
at
is
the same
interesting.
time, I was thinking, well, couldn't the ghost just go to the next floor, do the same thing to her again? I was like, how is going to a different floor gonna you have a ghost who could materialize anywhere? How is that gonna stop a ghost? That was my only thing. What? How is that? And yelling, I don't know. I guess I would have loved a little bit more logic on how she's going to be able to fight the ghost, which she kind of does way towards the end, but still, I was like, what, just yelling, just pulling Sigourney Weaver and yelling, "Get away from me, bitches!" How's that going to stop a ghost that's, as nefarious as that ghost? But anyway, that was my only thing. It's like, what's that going to do?
Well,
what is that really going to do?
I mean, it is what it is. But once again, I head back to the thought process. I'm like, she's in that tub and she thought that the best we're in spoilers now, guys.
Yes, we are very much
she,
so.
She thought that the best decision was to jam and to literally fall through the floor in that tub with her newborn baby. That would not be my first choice.
No,
I would try to get up and get out and leave the room first before I would ever think of like.
And I would have taken that bracelet off
and,
a whole lot earlier if I known it was a dead woman's
woman's
bracelet.
Yes.
Seriously.
I mean, if they'd established that she couldn't get out of the tub or couldn't move for some reason after the birth, for any kind of reason, then it would make more sense. Because the only way to get away is to escape through the floor. But they didn't really make that happen.
Or if they made some connection to that bracelet earlier, where if she took the bracelet off, maybe that was a connecting thing to that ghost. I mean, there's a lot. There wasn't really a lot. I mean, other than what happens with her ability to fight at the end.
I do like that. I like that quite a bit.
I like the end too. I did too. I dug that. I was like, I thought it was good misdirection because I did not realize until I did, and we're not giving this spoiler away, but that was great misdirection. And then I was like, oh, fine. You claim that home, girl.
That and
whatever.
I actually got a little emotional because of the nanny.
Oh yeah, that too.
Because of the story she tells early on and how she gets what she's been wanting, and I was like, that's a heartfelt way to end this. Wow, I was not expecting that.
See, Doc, that's part of the reason why I did not want. I liked the caretaker. I dug her character, and that's one of the reasons I didn't want her to be more paranoid toward her.
Yeah,
she didn't deserve that.
But I kind of
because she's losing.
Yeah, but then I thought, well, again, it was obvious it was not. It was not her. Although that would have been a nice way to if that had played out. If you'd had one of those scenarios where the caretaker was going to take the baby or something, that would have been interesting. If it wasn't, if you really want to go the crazy route, thinking somebody's crazy, it's not supernatural, that would have been an interesting thing too. Where
if they actually were in all cahoots,
the caretaker was actually drugging her, making her think that so she could take her baby, that would have been interesting.
That's horrible.
But I'm kind of glad it didn't go that way.
No, I didn't. I'm not saying I wanted to go that way. I just wanted to play up her mind a little bit. But at the end, I think the ending for me really worked. And the
I agree
ending
with that.
with the park after that.
I
So,
would have been mad if it
I like that.
if it just ended without that, because I really hate that husband. I hate
Well, they
the
had this-
husband. I really hate the husband. He's an asshole. He's
He
Well,
was-
there's a point where the doctor tells her that she's got to start taking her medication again,
Yeah.
which I assume is left over from before. And I was wrong. It was 6 weeks, not 6 months, from postpartum psychosis, which we had that other movie,
Yes.
like maybe 6 months ago that we did. But anyway, from the time when he gives her the medication, and then she also thinks she hears her husband talking to the doctor saying weird things. But then we get this weird sort of
montage.
fantasy
on the bed.
montage in the sunlight where it looks like everything is wonderful. And the next thing that happens is earmarked as like 9 days later. So apparently for 9 days, everything was great and no incidents, I guess. I found that to be just a little bit strange. I didn't know
Unless
why
the
they
medications were blocking the supernatural stuff.
could have been.
Anti-supernatural medication. Oh wow.
Ooh,
And then,
that would be interesting.
that's when the thing starts rolling out from under the bed.
Who are you gonna call? Dr. Feelgood. All right, guys, let's wrap this up and give our give our score 1 to 5 and our favorite scene. Christopher, sir, you up first.
Yeah, I mean, I think the film is serviceable for the elements that it has. I just found it to be kind of very monotonous in how it went about, and I really feel like it. But I think it kind of redeems itself in the last like fourth of the film when the nitty gritty happens and stuff starts happening in the house.
Yes.
So I'll give it a 3. I
Okay.
mean, I don't hate it, but I was kind of bored by it. But I think I think the main actress, I think she's great. I think she's the only reason you watch it to begin with. And I think when all the stuff happens at the very end, I think it works. As for favorite scene, I will I without giving away, I think when the supernatural stuff happens with everybody around, I think what happens to the caretaker.
Yes.
I was
Oh my gosh.
I was so kind of like, what? I was like,
What?
okay, this movie ain't playing. And I kind of like it when it's not playing by the rules. So I think that's probably my favorite scene is when that happens.
Excellent. Excellent. Crystal, you're up next. Your score 1 to 5 and your favorite scene.
Okay, I'm giving it a 3 as well.
Nice.
And my favorite scene, well, I was going to take something at the end, but I'm going to leave that for one of y'all because I know y'all will take it. But I'm going to say when the boy playing outside points toward her, but he's really pointing to the house. So, yeah.
Yep. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Where's
scene
your
quite
mommy?
a bit. Jeff, your score 1 to 5 favorite scene.
Yeah, I kind of enjoyed this. I'm going a little better. I'm going 3.25.
Oh, nice.
Favorite scene, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm waffling. I guess I'll take the phone on the Roomba because I thought that was cool.
Oh yeah, that's good. Yeah, yeah, good.
Because I was trying to figure out what is she doing. She's getting this together. The next thing we know, we see this.
Oh, and I like the representation of what she finds too.
I might have to
that was
buy a
pretty creepy.
Roomba, although there's maybe a cheaper remote control I can get to mount my phone on.
Yeah,
Anyway.
yeah, very much.
Just an RC car.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give this a 3.5, just a little bit better. I thought I was going too soft with that too. I think this is a perfect watch for Tubi. If you have Tubi, well, everybody has Tubi. It's free.
Well,
Watch it.
Tubi, yeah.
Watch it. You got to deal with the commercials, but hey, it's all right.
There was a 15 minutes of commercials in a 90 to add on to the 90-minute movie, which is way less than you'll ever
bad.
get on a
Yeah. I mean,
network.
it's
show,
been a
so.
long time, since I've regularly watched movies with commercials in them. That's for sure. But anyway, I enjoyed it mostly because the actress and I like the setup as well and the ending. So the ending is my favorite. The scene where she grabs the ghosty foo and gives her some, gives her the whatnot. That rarely happens where the confrontation is so like that physical, right? Because it's a ghost. There's a reason why, and that's a cool twist too, and I love that as well. So I really like we've said, I think all of us said that kind of made the movie work when that happened.
I did like.
I'm writing that
supernatural
down. Gives her the whatnot.
Yeah,
gives her the whatnot.
I did like the supernatural stuff that happened on the ceiling. I think that kind of
car
Mhm.
and the
Yeah.
footprints.
I mean that
Yeah, me
I
too.
wish I wish there was more stuff like that in it. It ramped up early.
Well, and it's not new, but I thought the first couple times where she sees something in the mirror and then figures out that's how to see him, I thought that was well done.
Yeah, I mean it has its moments. I think they just need a little.
She does a good job.
More tissue in between, I think, is what Christopher is saying, right? Need something.
Yeah.
Well, I think we wanted to sympathize with her, not to go on for too long, but I wanted to sympathize with her, so I'm looking at things from her point of view, and I'm wondering about the doctor. I'm wondering about the caretaker. I'm wondering about the husband.
All three of them.
And so it's easy for me to see how she could have got into that sort of paranoid mental state. So anyway.
All right. Well, there you go. That's our review for Bed Rest, streaming now on Tubi. Check it out and leave your comments down below on what you think about it. If we are right or wrong, just let us have it. Great. All right, Crystal, Christopher, Jeff, thank you for joining me. It's a lot of fun.
No problem.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to bed now.
Rest up.
Need some rest.
Rest up in that bed.
All right, let's all say good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Goodbye.
Gruesome Magazine.